Good evening, traders. Welcome to my Wednesday late night show. I'm hearing echo. Okay, give me 1 second. Tom, do you have your YouTube on?
I don't have YouTube on, no, ma'am.
Okay, I could hear a little bit of an echo. I don't know why. Sorry, guys, I'm just having a little bit of technical difficulties at this time, but I know everybody's exhausted. You're either too exhausted to give up, or you're just too awake to be productive. Which one? Um, Today we're going to talk about a daily routine of a traders. We're not going to do technicals. Pretty much every day we give technicals to you guys. Money might give you guys technicals. I give you technicals. Tom give you technicals. Pretty much everybody. So we're trying to make the late night show a little bit different. So, Tom, I told Tom, "Hey Tom, you want to join me for my late night show just to talk about just, fun and giggles, nothing so fancy, nothing about technicals. It's more like a what does a trader do every day?" Like when you wake up in the morning, I know others wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and start looking at the first thing you look at is what? Either your phone or the market, right? You didn't even say good morning to your wife yet or to your husband, right? But the first thing you say is, "Hey, let me see how much money I'm winning or how much money I'm losing."
What's the
At four
market
o'clock in
doing?
the morning, yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning, that's the first thing we do. I don't wake up 4:30. I don't know if Tom wakes up at 4:30 just to check their winning contracts or shares or losing contracts or shares. Do you do that,
No,
Tom, when you wake
no,
up in the
well,
morning?
no. I used to. I would, yeah, I would get, because so I'm an hour behind, right? So I'm in Arkansas, so I get up at 6, and the first thing I would do is I would go grab the phone, and that's not a good habit, really. Well, number one, I still do grab the phone, but I'm turning off my alarm system and I take the dogs out, you know, and
Yeah,
then I get going, and I try not to look at my phone for the first 30 minutes, just to give my mind a chance to wake up and not start with the, oh God, here's what the market's doing. Because if it's green, you're full of hope, and if it's red, you're full of dread, right?
it's true. It's true. It's true. Well, I think we need to change those daily routine of ours. It's for me, 4 o'clock in the morning is so early, right? It's really early. I mean, as a mother, I really cannot do a 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to wake up 6 o'clock and then take my son to school and then run. The first thing I do is to run, make sure my physical health is there. That's my priority. Um, I don't know if you guys hearing echo. Tom, are you hearing
I don't hear
echo?
any. I don't hear any echo. I don't.
Okay. So I run and then I go home straight because I know I'm gonna do live trading with you guys, or I have to pick up a phone call for my husband's business. But the first thing I do is not look at my phone. I think we need to start changing that habits because the first thing we need to do is take care of ourselves first. Take care of your body, take care of your mental health. Do some hobby where you do some a little bit of exercise. I think that's the most important thing that you got to do as a trader. Have a physical activity, whether just for a walk or go to the gym for 30 minutes. I think make it as a daily habit.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about the real problem too that traders faces, not just one person pretend to have a great trade, right? Because in reality, over trading too is FOMO. It's really not a good thing to do, right, Tom?
Yeah,
Um,
that's and whether you're over trading because you're losing or over trading because you're winning. Either way,
yeah,
it's terrible.
exactly. So number one, take care of yourself, physical health. Number two, what do you think is number two for you, Tom?
Number two, after physical health, just getting mentally prepared.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Mentally prepared just to make sure that when the market opens you have a positive view or
Yeah.
positive vibe, and then
So
that's when you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so one of the things that I do, and again, this is just because of who I am. I actually spend about 10, 15 minutes on a Bible lesson, a men's Bible lesson, and I journal a bit. And that's something I never used to do, to be honest with you, because I don't like journaling. But I was reading about how, and again, you don't have to do it in the Bible. That's just me. That's what I do, right? But when you take a few minutes before the market, before you start getting into the market, or even before you start work, and just, kind of just spending some time, whether it's, reading the Bible or meditating and things like that, and writing stuff down, it gets you in a better mindset for the whole day, not just for trading, but for your whole day. At least for
Yeah.
me, it's really helped.
Yeah, I really agree on that Bible studies as well. I think we all should have believe on something, whatever high power you believe in. But I think um, your faith always comes first. Faith comes first. I think God first, and then physical health maybe the first, right? But I think you're right, Tom. We really need to have that spiritual and faith that really come into mind as well that we have to prioritize. I think after you do all that, that's when you start doing your pre-market preparation, right?
Yep.
So this is where the real work begins before any trades are taken care of. So what are the daily routine for our traders? Number one, take care of your health. Actually, number one, take care of your faith.
Mm.
Faith comes first, and then take care of your mental health, your physical health, and that's when the work begins when you start doing your pre-market preparation. What are those? Reviewing your overnight trades. What did you do? What did you do right? What did you do wrong from the previous trades, right? Check your check any kind of news. Do you listen to the news, Tom?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I get news feeds up all during the day, and yeah, it's good to stay on top of those, right? Because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade, and it goes, and then you hear, "Oh, guess who's speaking?" Or "Guess
Yeah.
what report is coming out?" Right? And you're just like, "Oh crap! I never should have did that trade."
Of course, you have to check the news for to understand any kind of market sentiment or catalyst.
Yep.
What else? We have to update our watch list. Not a lot of people update their watch list. Some of us have hundreds of watch lists.
Mm.
I think we need, if you're beginners, I think you need to stop trading those meme stocks, those penny stocks. I think start with
Yep.
Magnificent Seven, something that's a lucrative company, before you start jumping into the meme coins or meme stocks, right? Second,
Yeah.
I mean,
We talked about that
next,
the other day, right? We talked about Sunday night, right? You had the list, right? Scalpers, day traders, swing traders, and long-term investments, right? And it was listed that way, and it really should be flipped around, right? You should start high and then work your way down into a specialty, because if
yeah.
you don't, you're not gonna understand what's going on. I remember the first time I saw people talking about scalping, I saw their plays and I was like, they're in and out so fast. And somebody said it's called scalping. I had no clue what it was.
No, I
Yeah, it's
understand.
it's difficult to start that way to me.
Yeah, I think if you're beginners, I think everybody should start. This is just what I believe. Okay, everybody have their own perspective. I think you have to start first with a
Yep.
long term investment, and then here comes probably your swing, and then your scalping or your intraday trading. I think the scalping, especially the options, should be the last one. I think scalping is more, in a way, kind of advanced because
It
that's
is.
when you're really focused
Yep.
and you're more disciplined, because your scalping techniques actually depends on your personality as well. If you have no patience, scalping doesn't really, it doesn't align with your personality. It's not going to work out. But if you're more chill, I think you try to stick with being a swing trader instead, or a long-term investor.
Yep.
The next one is,
If I had started off scalping, I still wouldn't be trading.
well,
It's
everybody
just, it's
wants to
just,
scalp, Tom.
yeah, they do, because it seems like fast money, right? But for me personally, I had to start off with just slow investing, dividend investing. I did a dividends for a year before I even learned about how to even do a cover call. So
Dividend
it's
is a
it's just
good way too.
yep,
Yeah, the dividend, but the problem with the dividend stocks is people use that dividend stocks and thinking they could trade it and just acquire that dividend, then the next day they will trade it. But what happened when you receive your dividend stocks the next day? most of the time the stocks goes down, the price goes down. So it's not a smart way to do that. I mean, that's just me. Again, this is, I'm not a financial advisor. That's just based upon my experience when I do that, you know.
Yeah, and
So
it happens, especially if it's not a what you call a blue chip, right? Blue chips are a little more stable, but if you're trading any of those ones that pay, really high dividends, man, you'll see those stocks dip when they pay it out
yep,
every time.
yep. Okay, after updating your watch list, what else do you guys need to do during pre-morning market? Marking your key levels, right? What are your pre-morning resistance, pre-morning supports, any gap? Pay attention to those gaps because those common gaps, you could definitely trade it. What are the key level support coming from the longer time frame? Those things have to be marked on your pre-morning market. So just keep in mind that your take profit level actually lies on the larger time frame. So we need to mark those key levels when we're doing our pre-morning preparation. What else? We need to visualize the day plan. They said that you need to set up your mindset. What are you looking for? Right? You need to make sure that one, take a deep breath. Two, you're calm. When the market opens, what I always teach you guys, treat the market as always neutral. Don't have a higher conviction that this thing is going to go bullish or this thing is going to have bearish, because why? You're predicting this. It's not what you want, it's what the market wants to give to you, and the market is always right. We sabotage our trade ourselves. Is not the market. We become so personal, saying, oh, I'm lose again, oh, I'm going to sell my stocks because this thing is going to go pop when I sell my stocks. No, no, the market doesn't care about us. Right,
Yeah.
Tom? I mean, I've done this before. I felt it before. Back when I started trading, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sell, and then, oh, this thing is gonna go up, and it becomes so personal to me until one day I'm like, you know what? The market has no feelings. The market doesn't even know I exist. And we've seen it. People in our community who say, oh, I'm gonna sell it so you guys could make money. I mean, we need to stop that mindset.
Yep.
We really need to stop that mindset.
We don't. Yeah, our trades don't control the market, guys.
Exactly. Our trades doesn't control by the, I mean,
Feels like it sometimes, but yeah, it doesn't.
yeah. Tom, you read the book of Mark Douglas. Remember, there's a story there. I think it was, I know I read the book for quite some time, but I need to remember what it says. There, he was given a five trades to five different traders, right? It's the same setup. Same setup. Here is the strategy. He gives all the strategy to these five traders. One of them succeeded. He made a lot of money. The second one, FOMO, lost a lot of money. The third one hesitated, did not enter the trade. The fourth one, I think, entered too late, missed the opportunity. And the fifth one, I'm just trying to remember what I read about this five traders that he gave. And it turns out the strategy that he was given to them is just black and white. And they lost is not because the strategy wasn't done right. It's because our own selves, we use our own emotion, we use our own logic to enter the trade. But that one person who followed a strict strategy, whatever the rules was, he followed it and he becomes successful. But all this strategy, Tom, was given to that five traders. And these
Yep.
five traders have different reaction how the market works. And see how interesting it is, because I could give you this trade and I could take this trade and me and you will have a different result. Right? And
Yep.
others will say, how come he made so much money and I didn't? Because we hesitate. When there's an opportunity, we hesitate. Or we just missed it. We got scared. The other one just like, hey, this is an opportunity, I'll go ahead and take it. Doesn't hesitate. So our entry based upon our emotion. Our winning, all that success is based upon our decision, you know? So great traders don't show up blindly when you trade.
No.
They show up prepared. So we need to start thinking that we are a trader. It's like going to the arena. We're gonna have all our gear up ready to fight. It's the same thing with the stock market. If this is so easy and so simple, everybody will be doing it.
Everybody's
Everybody
doing
will
that.
be trading it. Everybody will be millionaires, but it's not. So, any input, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, Mark Douglas says this all the time, right? Trading is what, 90% psychological.
Yeah, 80%
And
psychological, 10%.
yeah, it's crazy how much your mind will play with you. So how do you avoid that? You've got to set, number one, you've got to set rules, and you've got to set patterns, right? Whether you write it down, I'm big on, I create a bunch of documents just so I can remind myself, do this if this happens, do that. But you've got to get your system down, and you got to stick with it, and you can't negotiate with your own system, right? If it's not working, you can adjust it. But while you've got it set, you don't negotiate. If you have a stop loss that's here, don't go, oh, one more candle, just one more candle, just one, because then you'll be 7 candles later going one more candle. Oh, it's gonna turn my way. It's not, right? Cut your loss, move on, take your profit, move on. Either way. And when you're entering a trade, it's the same thing, right? If you don't have confluence, don't go, well, I've got this, this looks great, but then you look at volume, volume's terrible, right? Or RSI is not moving in your right direction. Don't break your own rules. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was terrible at that. I would break my own rules all the time. And then
I,
you gotta, yeah, you
I
just
got a
gotta go, I can't
confession.
do this anymore.
Yeah, I actually broke my rules today. I got overconfident, so don't do that. I was winning so good this morning. All my three trades with SPY and AMD did very well. And then pre-morning power hour, I went to Discord early. I got one call. I mean, first position, I got a call. I got 28 or 30%, I don't recall now. And then the second one I enter again, I got another 28% or 30 some, it's similar. And then the third one that I enter, I think that was when it's pulling back. And I'm like, I'm just gonna give one runner. So I enter one call. And I guess this is what you call overconfident, and the market humbles me today. So that one call was like $190, and I was lost like 40%. I have to cut it off because I'm like, oh my goodness. I got overconfident and I got so arrogant that the market just humbles me. I mean, luckily
Yeah,
it was just a very minimal loss because I'm like, I'm just gonna give this one call. And this is my third trade for the power hour, which I normally just stick to two, but the market humbles me. Luckily, I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna do one call instead of three. And so,
yeah,
but I lost 40%, which is like what? I think $70 or $78, which is not much. It's tolerable, but I just like humble myself there. I'm like, you know what? I normally just stick to two trades on the power hour, but I got so overconfident that I took that last one, you know, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
yeah. Yeah, but when you're so the one of the things I think we all struggle with is none of us are full-time traders, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to have an executable plan each and every day that you get up and you it's just a routine. You just and it'll bother you when you fall out of your routine, number one, but you've got to have a plan because we're all trading in between work that I know of. There may be a few of us out there that are retired and training, and I know our friend Ray's is out, right, getting surgery and he's trading, but
Yeah.
most of us are holding out full-time jobs and we're trying to trade in between. So you've got to be flexible in that manner, but you've also got to be rigid in how you enter and exit trades. You just can't be jumping around and everything. You've got to have a set list. You've got to go through that list every day. You can't trade every single stock. It's impossible. I think that's one of the reasons Josh picks, Nvidia, Tesla, and SPY, right? Because they're tradable every day,
Yeah.
and you can learn the patterns, and you can focus on that. There are some people that can have 16 trades on 16 different stocks every day, and that's great.
Hmm.
Some of us can't. We just can't do it, because we've got other commitments. So you've got to be really tight on what you're trying to do, how you're trying to accomplish, and go into the day with a plan on what your target is. And then when you enter trades, you need to know what you're going into the trade with. I see this a lot of time is people go into trades and they don't have a plan for either taking profit or getting a stop loss,
Yeah.
and they're constantly searching. Hey, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Um, you've got to have these things down, because if you're not a full-time day trader, you don't want to be just sitting there staring at your screen all day while you're trying to work. That's not good, right?
Yep. I totally agree with you. Okay, so trader's routine number one, take care of yourself physically,
Yep.
mentally, and spiritually. Number two, preparation for your pre morning market. Number three, that's when the market opens, your execution. So, what are those? You don't force a trade. You are
Yep.
waiting for your setup to work. You don't force a trade. Okay, that's number one. You don't force a trade. You don't outrun the bull. Josh always talks this to us. You don't outrun the bull. Okay, you wait for your setup to have that A plus setup confirm with the three confluence. When I'm scalping with you guys, I have three time frame that I need to watch: the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, and the 15 minutes. Those has to be confluence. If I have two, it's early, it's an aggressive entry, but I just need to make sure that the third one is following my confluence with my 5 and the 10th time frame. Okay. The next one, you have to manage your risk. Entering a position with a larger position size is a risky trade, especially when the market opens. When I do trade volatility, by the way, I know most of us, most traders, we were taught to wait for that 15 minutes, but I like to take advantage of that volatility. However, when you guys do scalping with me, as you can see, I have my first take profit level, and that has to be taken into consideration. Like you got to take profit on that level one or probable level two, or perhaps there's such an EMA that's going to serve as a ceiling. You need to take that. Okay, so this is volatile when the market opens between the 15 minutes. It's very volatile. Nothing is guaranteed there. But at least if it goes to your favor, it breaks down our morning or pre-morning resistance and we're ready for a call. I normally take it. And you guys been trading with me and you know that I take volatility. But I don't stay there too long. What Ertuan always teaches, don't overstay your welcome,
Yep.
right? The next one, avoiding emotional trades during your first 5 to 15 minutes. So, yes, it gets nervous when the market opens, but we need to stay away with our emotion. Just put a pin on it. And you know what? You're not working right now. Let's just trade this. And what Keenan said always say, trade with your chart, not with your heart.
Yep.
So, there you go, right? And we only take A plus setup. That's the only setup we're going to trade. An A plus setup. What is the A plus setup? What is your consider A plus setup, Josh? I mean, Tom.
Josh, wow, I got
I
promoted.
know, right? Tom.
Yeah, so your A plus setup to me is number one, you're not trading in your morning market chop. Number one,
Mhm.
right? You've cleared levels, you've cleared your morning levels, you cleared your pre-market levels, and you've got continuation candles that are moving, right? You've got RSI moving in the right direction, and then you've got your MACD, and then you've got your EMAs all, moving in the direction you want, whether it's, puts or calls, or even if you're doing swing trading, right? You want to make sure that you build out your A plus rules, right? I cross VWAP. I've crossed. I'm above the 8 or 9, whichever you prefer. If it goes the other way, you want to be under those, and you don't want to trade and chop. You want to build a plan that you're not always constantly praying that your position goes the way you want. You want to go into that position confident. And if you miss it by a minute or two and you don't get as much as everybody else, that's okay. You're working your plan. But A plus setups are important. You've got to go in knowing what is an A plus setup. You've got to build out that structure. You can't just wait for somebody to tell you we're in, we're out. Because if you're doing that, you're not building those skills that you can develop when you need to be trading on your own.
Yeah, I agree. They said it's hearing my echo. Can you hear my echo, Tom?
I don't hear any echo. Are there people chatting? Because I can't. Oh, there's a chat button. There you go. I'm new
Yeah.
to this, guy. this form here. That's why you see my dogs in the background. We didn't have time for me to figure out how to get
Yeah, they
a
said the
default
echo is
background
so
screen.
bad, Tom.
That goes bad, Miss Mary. For both of us or just Mary?
So all these times there's an echo? Let me see. Sorry about that.
Oh, great question. How do you guys able to keep track of so many tickers and trade at the same time? Well, I don't know if anybody you guys were on the post market close today. Mary left and I pulled over a couple of my screens and some of my screens have a lot of charts on it. That really comes from just repetition. You learn what to look for. You look for two or three things. You've got a set list. And the other thing I do is I'm not looking at those all day. I set alerts. I set alerts when things cross over certain checkpoints on the stock. If I'm interested in it, if I do a quick look and I say, "Oh, I see maybe RSI curling up on something. I see, this candle's moving in the direction I want. I see it the 9 crossing the 20." I'll send an alert, so I don't have to stare at it the whole time. You can't literally look at the screens all day. I know some guys here that probably have 4 or 5 screens that they're looking at constantly. I can't do that. I rather just be alert and then go back and look at the deals. That's how I get pretty much all of my trades. Alerts tell me when to go look at it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I also my watch list is not 100%, and it's not 100 watch list.
Yep.
Actually mine is just I just trade normally SPY, Tesla, AMD, Nvidia, big companies. I'm hearing echo, so let me see.
I got a lot of people saying they don't hear any echo, so mostly on your side though it says.
They said there was echo in there. There's an echo, Della said.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my echo. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. If I mute Tom, he's not gonna be able to speak. Okay, there's echo. Oh, okay, so it was hearing from Tom. Um, so ne- every time I speak, I'm gonna mute you, Tom, and then when you speak, I'm gonna unmute you. Is that okay? Okay. So when my watch list, I don't have 100 watch lists. I normally see what is trending, and then um, normally I just do it by Tesla is kind of hard to trade, especially if we're whipsawing. If that wick is really hard, not unless you're very fast. If you're okay with 5 to 10% with that, that's fine. If it's a trending and strong momentum, then we will hardly see a wick. But for SPY is easier to trade because it's pretty slow. For me, it's pretty slow. Nvidia's the same thing. AMD is such a bomber. I mean, not a bomber, but it's incredible. It just jumped like over 17, 18, $20 today, and you could actually get pretty much $100 in 3 seconds. You could get it. It was so incredible, and it was Tom. Congratulations on your leap on that one. We were discussing this yesterday. I actually only got 10% of AMD because I don't want to overtrade because I was doing great on SPY. Then I got an AMD and I'm like, you know what? I'm overconfident on this one because I made so much money. And then I did a power hour and then I was looking at AMD. I'm like, wow. Um Give me 1 second. What is the second one that I would like to talk to you guys real quick? Go ahead, Tom. Tom, are you there? I think we're having technical difficulties. Sorry about that. So when you have to narrow down your watch list, you need to make sure that your watch list is a lucrative company. Okay, we don't want to be trading those meme stocks. I think Tom is got frozen. Yesterday class was amazing. You are welcome. Okay, when so you take care of your body, take care of your health, spiritual, prepare your pre-morning market. when the market opens, you have to make sure that you only trade an A plus setup. Okay, A plus setup. You have to manage your risk. You need to avoid emotional trades. Okay, you need to avoid emotional trades, especially in that 5 to 15 minutes. So the open is where the amateurs gamble. Without a strategy, we are cooked. Okay, but professionals observe and trade with strategies. All right, so when the market opens, let's go ahead and put in Tom again. Tom, you're back.
Yep, I'm back. I reconnected.
All right. So I'm
I hope
just
that, can you hear me?
yeah, we're just summarizing the market opens execution. So we have physical and mental health,
Yep.
and your spiritual, and then your pre-morning market open execution. Next one is the midday management. Normally after 11 o'clock, 11:30, we normally don't want to trade anymore. It's not that we don't want to trade anymore. It's just we don't want to be in the screen for the whole day. It's kind of exhausted, It's very ex- exhaustion. So we need to make sure that there's a time limit for us because liquidity drops, volume drops. We don't want to be trading the whole time and waiting for the opportunity to enter. Sometimes it becomes stagnant in the midday. So the best way to do, set a time limit from 9:30 to 11. You could exceed it to 11:30, but after that, just take a breather, take a break, have lunch, go out, walk, or if you have work, go to work. But your midday management, what you could do is you have to review maybe your open positions. If you forgot to sell or you're still waiting for it, review it. Is it time for me to let it go? How much money I'm losing already? Review it. And then you what? You adjust your stop loss. Maybe start taking some of your losing trade. It's already, let's say, 12 o'clock, right? We need to avoid low volume market. That midday may not be an opportunity for you to trade. It could be choppy. Maybe this is a perfect time to start journaling your morning trades. Write it down. How much did you win? How many did you win? What did you do wrong? What did you do right? Start journaling it. And then what do? We're resetting our mental health, right? Additional thought on that, Tom.
No, I completely agree, right? That time frame, and it all depends on where you live too, right? If you're in California, obviously it's not lunchtime, but the it still applies. You don't want to be trading really after 11 p.m. Excuse me, 11 a.m. Eastern, right? You look at all this stuff, the volume drops. That's when I go back and I start actually entering my trades in my spreadsheets. I'm a big spreadsheet guy, so I start entering on my trades, this and that, whether they're still open or closed. Everything's automated. I actually set a lot of trailing stop losses. You guys will see me talk about that all the time because I know I'm focused on work now, and I don't want to be sitting there watching the screen going, oh, should I take profit or should I cut this one? So I set stop losses for limit orders for both get out and sometimes even get in. If I like something, I'll set a limit order and you just let it automate itself. You don't want to be sitting there doing it all day. You take, like Mary said, you take a breather, you go back and review your trades, you reset your mind. You tell yourself, hey, I lost this morning or I won this morning. What do I do now? Have I got my 3 wins? Or have I got my 2 losses? Am I done for the day? And then you're done. You don't keep going back in and go one more trade, one more trade, one more trade. That's a bad spot to be in. I think we've all been guilty of it, Mary. Always trying to get that one last trade. And then you get the rest of the afternoon to do your work. And again, if you're working like I am, right? That's why I have a lot of calls in the afternoon, and so I catch up on stuff there, and I get other things done, and I'll review trades, and then I'll get ready for Power Hour. And Power Hour for me is completely different. I don't trade a lot of Power Hour, but I like to be on with Mary, and I like to join the other guys and listen to things. Especially if I already hit my wins for the day, I'm not trading in Power Hour. If I hit my losses, I'm not trading Power Hour. So it's just not something I like to do. I like to get it done early, especially because I'm a swing trader. There's not a lot of stuff to do in Power Hour for me. You got pretty much SPY, Tesla, and Nvidia to play, and that's about it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, but this is now the power hour. After the midday, now it's the power hour. So the power hour is when the 1 hour before the market close, right? So normally we don't see much of actions during power hour, and I try to stick at least to two trades, or at least if I could just get one, I'm fine because my goal is to have three trades in the morning, one or two trades in during power hour. But if I couldn't take it, it's okay. If I'm doing live trading with you guys, I normally have a hard time trading sometimes because I'm focused on your trades. It's really, I don't want to for you guys to lose money while I'm actually paying attention to mine. I've experienced it multiple times because of course I have to prioritize my win, right? So sometimes I have to take profit early so that I could discuss to you guys more, to hold on to your hands, like, hey, just hold on to your puts, it's gonna work more, just hold on to it. So that's my goal there, just to guide you through. But during power hour, this is your setup is totally different for your morning setup. Totally different. You cannot really use your morning setup during power hour. And this is also the time to reconsider, am I going to close my intraday positions? This is going to be my swing trade, or this is going to be just good, stick to my intraday positions? Am I losing? The market's going to close. So you better start thinking, I mean, first of all, in the beginning, when you enter that trade, you should know if this is a swing trade or scalping. That's already supposed to be on your setup already. That's part of your rules, okay? Second, now it's time for you updating your watch list. Maybe update your watch list for tomorrow, right? Because this is where your discipline pays off. Tom, what's your input on
That's
that?
no, that's perfect, right? So I have and again, I told you guys earlier, I like to create documents and just reference stuff. I literally have my afternoon thing. It has 3 points, bullet points. See if any positions need trimming. Tighten stops on winners and close losers that broke structure, because that is risk management, right? Not trading. You want to manage risk. You don't want to be trading at this time. You want to just, hey, and like Mary said, you got to decide, right? Is this a day trade? Is this a longer term swing trade? Right? Is it broken structure? Do I need to get out? Do I need to let it run? That's the time you start doing all this. You don't want to be doing it 5 minutes before the market closes, because then you tend to panic.
Yeah.
But that's a great way to look at that time in between, right? Your lunchtime check in, or pre-power hour check in, to go through the current positions you have open.
Yeah, yeah. So once the market close, your job is not done yet, guys. Because why? This is the moment where you could review we called it the after hours review. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the part where most traders skip. This is why we stay stuck. So first thing, if you did not do your journaling during the midday, this is the time to start doing your journaling every trade, why you took it, how you feel about it. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? Start reviewing your charts. Your trading view has a replay. Go ahead and do it. Replay that. Then you could see what mistakes did you do. Studying your strategy is what I've learned works for me. But just one time trying that strategy doesn't mean it's a fail, okay? You got to try this, at least try for a week or 2 weeks. I suggest 30 days. Okay? One strategy, and then it did not work out for you because you tried it once, doesn't mean it's a failure. You got to have to try this. Albert Einstein has to do it 1,000 times. Henry Ford has to do it 1,000 times before he created the V8. So why can't you guys try 30 days, right? The next one, study your strategy. Then what? Back testing your past trades. Review your past trades. What did I do right in here? Oh, I did it. I got this right because this and this and this and that. And after that, you prepare for the next day. And after that 30 minutes, maybe you just need like a 30 minutes break after the power hour. And then you just go on, enjoy your family. Don't look at the market during post market. Guys, you need to separate your time away from the stock market because you need to spend time with your family. At the end of the day, it's not all about money. You're doing this for your family, for you. For what? To have freedom. It's not because you want to acquire the money, because you want to have freedom in life. You want to be able to say, you know what, this person need help. I got you. I don't have to worry about my mortgage, my rent, you know? So why we all here? We all here is because for one reason. And it's not about money. It's what comes after money. It's the liberty. It's the freedom. It's the freedom to say, hey, I don't have to work for 1 week because I could afford it. And that's why we all why. Why are we here? Why are we trading? It's not like we're chasing money. In reality, we are, but we're chasing that freedom. I don't know if Tom is right, or if you have the same perspective when it comes to money, right? One time my friend asked me, Mary, when you think of money, how do you feel about it? I said it too fast. I said, I'm grateful, I'm happy. I'm like, you're happy when you see money? I mean, it's not that I'm happy with the money. I'm happy because the future is telling me some freedom. The future is telling me my future is bright because I could make money. And that's what we're all here for. Tom is here for liberty and freedom, right, Tom?
Yep. Yep. And so I want to go back to one thing you said about the post market, right? Once the market's closed, um, one of the things that I do is I go back on a trade. Say my trade didn't work out the way I wanted to, and I took a loss. Even maybe I didn't take a loss. I didn't execute it quite cleanly. Trading view is great because you can go do the replay and you go back and pull it back up and go back to where you took the trade, and then you can kind of analyze, was it an A plus setup? What did I violate my trading rules? I'm not going to say did I do something wrong. Did I violate my trading rules? And if my answer is I check all the boxes and the market went against me, I'm okay with that, because if you stuck with your rules, the setup was great, everything worked great, but the market will turn on you. That's fine. If it didn't, and you violated one of your trading rules, whether you didn't wait for RSI confirmation, or you didn't wait for VWAP confirmation, any of that, that's where you really start learning. And write like, again, I'm a spreadsheet guy. Every single one of my trades is in a spreadsheet, and I'll put notes next to it. Didn't get confirmation on VWAP. Didn't get confirmation on this. Didn't do this, right? Because I want to learn from my mistakes to be a better, cleaner trader. So I think that's super key, to go back and review your trades, and then even look at the ones you won. Make sure you're documenting that. Make sure I do end of the week reviews of my trades. I want to be a better trader, and it's only gonna get that way when you study not only what you're doing, but what you did, why this worked and why that didn't work.
Yeah, I agree with you. Consistency is built every night,
Yep.
not during market hours. It's every
Yep.
night you finish that
Yep.
trade and you
Yep.
just take a look at what have you done. If you follow your rules, just like Tom said, you did great,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah. Then what do you do at night? That's key
Sleep?
too, right?
Yeah. What
No,
do you
no, I'm
do at
talking.
night?
I'm talking about in the evening, right? In the evening, are you doom scrolling on your phone? Are you just watching? It's okay to relax and kick back sometimes. I spend 2 to 3 nights a week working on plans, whether it's looking at potential plays, things like that. And I'm blessed in a way because all my kids are grown. I got grandkids; they're here all the time because they all live within 10 minutes of me. But at night, it's me and my wife, and she does a lot of independent work. So we're kind of working side by side and doing stuff. But I go, and that's strategy time. Find new plays, right? Find new stocks you're interested in. Make notes of things. Build watch lists and remove things from your watch list, right? That's where you really start to plan out longer term stuff. And then I know a lot of us will watch YouTube, and I used to be guilty of this too. I used to be on YouTube all the time, finding every stock person I could, and I was like, I got to stop doing this, because you're watching every single. I only have like 2 or 3 people I watch now, and I'll be completely honest with you. When they're giving out stock tips and this and that, I don't even watch most of them anymore. And I've said this before in Discord. I grab that YouTube, I throw it in Gemini, and I said, please summarize this for me. So I take a 15-minute YouTube and I get a 3-minute reading version because I just don't want to spend time on that. And I don't want to spend my last hour or two watching stock videos every night. I just don't want to do that anymore. I've completely changed that. And a lot of times, my wife and I, when we the last half hour, there's no TV. We just kind of just talk and maybe read and do things like that. You've got to relax your mind before you go to bed. The last thing you want to do, the last thing you want to do is wake up thinking about the stock market and go to sleep thinking about the stock market.
I agree. Actually, at night, as a mom, as a wife, as a trader, as a realtor, as a business owner, I have so much things going on every night. And since I took this new endeavors with the Discord, I have more responsibility. So I was talking to my husband. I said, you know what? I think I gotta have to hang my cape on your business now because now I'm becoming more full time in the Discord. And I think I'm gonna cut my real estate into half because I enjoy what I do here. I love it. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping the community. It just feels so great. And at the end of the day, at the end of the night, sometimes I forgot to cook. It's not that I forgot, it's just I'm so busy now. Then I have to run because I did coaching. I do coaching at night as well to those people who cannot make it on the 4 o'clock. Sometimes I need to reschedule. But my main thing for me is to exercise and then pray. I try to eat. Actually, I don't eat dinner. I try to lose weight and have some fasting, you know. But if I do eat, I spend it with my husband or at least with my children, you know. I tried to stay away from social. I actually did. I removed my social media except for my husband's business, Instagram, but I don't do much of that. That's his doing. I deleted my social media because it's time consuming. It takes all your time and effort and attention. Although my feed is all about positivity, by the way, but still, it's just like, okay, oh my goodness, I forgot to do something. I just listened to a short video, but still, it's for me, it's a little bit of time consuming in a way. So I deleted Facebook. I don't really go to Instagram because I'm not an Instagram type of person. I try to stay away from the stock market at night. I really do. I try to be a better wife, although we're supposed to be doing more talking at night, but me and my husband ended up sleeping the opposite directions because he just finished working for his business and I just finished my own thing for my business. So, but your mindset, having a peace of mind before you go to sleep, I think it's really important because a tired trader is a losing trader. So I really tried. I'm still working on that. Okay, so don't don't beat me on that. I'm not a perfect person, so I'm really just trying, Tom. It's just too much for me. I feel like I have so much responsibility and I need to just get rid of some of the load because it's just getting too much. But I love helping the Discord. It's my blessing. I feel like it's my calling. And I enjoyed it. I was just talking to Josh and about it and I said, I really appreciate this opportunity that you've given to me. It's sometimes it's overwhelming. Don't get me wrong, it's overwhelming, but I could manage. I could manage. So thank you, Josh, for whoever's listening. It's such a great opportunity. And Tom has always been helping me. Thank you, Tom, too. It makes my life easier too. But
Yeah, I
that's
totally
supposed to
enjoy
be
it.
our routine.
I have to address one thing in the chats. This is Valley, and that's Rocco. That's literally their position. During the day because I work from home. Somebody said that they want the freedom that my dog has, right? Just to lay around. Yeah, it's key, right, to have these goals, right? Or what you're trying to do this for. Are you just trying to create income? That's great. If you're trying to do generational wealth, that's fantastic. But it all comes down to that word freedom, right? We want financial freedom because it allows us to do other things. It allows us not only to be free ourselves, but allows us to be more generous. Right, I'm a kind of a big Dave Ramsey guy. I like a lot of stuff he says, but I like the fact that when you go through his steps, the last one is you can be generous, right? You can be more generous to other people when you don't have to always stress out about your bills and your mortgage. So it's great to do this, and I love the fact that Mary is such a giver. I mean, she's given me a great chance over this past year, and so there's a lot of us as a community that we can do for each other. I love sharing trades. I love, trying to help people. Mary's a great mentor, and she has been for a long time. For me, for now, for going on a year, it's about a year that we connected on this
Yeah.
Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need 8 hours a day to trade, guys. I'm gonna be honest with
Absolutely.
you right now. I have this
Yep.
thing written down right here. It says you need 90 minutes in the morning, right? Because you really want to be half an hour before the market opens, the first hour, hour and a half, maybe the market opens, right? And then you want to be done. You want to be done for the day. You get back on, you do 10 minutes at lunchtime and look at stuff and go, okay, cut, keep, right? And be done. And then you get 15 minutes at the end of the close if you're not a power hour person, right? And that's fine. So honestly, you're looking at maybe 2 hours max, 2.5 hours max a day. You shouldn't be, if you're doing more than that, I would ask you to go back and look at what you're doing, and maybe you're just over trading, or maybe even over analyzing. Maybe not even trading. You're just staring at screens all day, trying to figure out, what's going to work, what's not going to work. You need to tighten it up, especially if you are a full time employee somewhere else, or like Mary, right, a realtor and running a business. You don't want to be stuck to the screen. You will burn out. You know screens, if you leave them on too long, they get screen burn in, where it's the if you leave it one thing. That's why they develop screensavers. So
Mm-hmm.
if you leave it on, you would get screen burn in. Well, you don't want your eyes to get screen burn in, right? You don't want to be seeing charts when you close your eyes at night. That's not a good thing. You got to find that balance. And I'll be honest with you, I've been guilty of it. And if you haven't started yet, I know, Mary, you did the psychology of trading with Mark Roberts, right? You read some last time. Man, get into that stuff. Like I read 5 to 10 pages a night, depending on how tired I am. You don't have to read the whole book in one night. Go through that stuff and learn about the psychology of trading, and how your mind reacts to things. It's amazing.
It is really amazing that Mark Douglas book. But I really highly suggest you guys read the book. If you don't, do a YouTube audiobooks. It's free. You guys could be able to do it when you're driving. Okay, so this is
Yep.
strictly 1 hour class or 1 hour late night show. Thank you, Tom, for being here. Remember, trading isn't about being perfect. Okay, it's all about being prepared. It's all about being consistent. It's all about being honest to yourself. And even when it's uncomfortable, you have to be honest to yourself. So, just like Josh said, peace and blessings. Be kind, be patient. May all your trades and your days be in the green. Thank you, guys. Thank you for staying with us with the late night show with Miss Mary and the guest of Tom. Maybe Tom will say something, a few words before we leave.
I will just leave you with the same thing Mary said, right? And then I will just end it with, because my wife is Hawaiian, I will just say aloha.
Aloha. Well, thank you guys again. Just like Josh says, I like his slogan, peace and blessings. Okay.
Yep,
Thank you, Tom.
you bet.
Have a
Hey,
great
see you
night.
tomorrow for morning huddle. Morning huddle tomorrow.
We do have morning huddle tomorrow. We'll see you guys at 9 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, the market will be kind to us and we will make some money.
Yep. Have a
Good
good
night,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.